welcome to Podcast First Play, episode 276. I'm one of your hosts, Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man who said, I know this might make me sound big-headed, but I can't get my jumper off.
There's no right being that funny.
It's only bloody Dan.
Hello.
Hello. You alright?
Yes, I'm, yep.
Yep, that's an excellent answer, Dan, and I'm very glad.
Good.
It is Wednesday, it's podcast day, and this podcast is brought to you by who, Dan? NYXI Gaming. I knew you'd forgot, so I jumped in.
Thank you.
And
I was going to say Blue Apron, but they don't sponsor us.
Definitely not.
Nope.
But here's a little video. This week's episode is brought to you by NYXI and their Hyperion Pro Joy-Cons for Nintendo Switch. The Hyperion Pro is the best Joy-Con replacement we've tested to date. They look fantastic, they feel better than stock Joy-Cons, and the Hall effect sticks ensure longevity of them will outlast Nintendo's offering, as well as other third-party brands that still suffer with the dreaded drift issues. The super comfortable and ergonomic grip allow for easy long-time gaming. The programmable RGB lights mean you can customize the controller to your particular taste, and the gamer's reflex macro buttons are available to give you an edge. Plus, the GameCube-inspired purple option and the green Legend of Zelda-inspired variant really make the controller stand out. All this, and using promo code PvP, you can get 10% off. Head over to NYXIGame.com or use the link in the description. But as was mentioned, it's not just on the NYXI Hyperion Pros that were reviewed. That's across the store. You can use it on that 10% on anything you want.
Well, Callum, it sounds like we're a pair of bloody legends for sorting that
We
out.
really bloody are. And if anything, they should send us some more things. But, Dan,
Yes.
I am going to... It's not real news. This is more of a discussion point based on some news. But the Xbox Games Showcase airs in like 2 weeks' time on June the 9th, which we will be doing live, I assume.
Live?
Yes.
Better be. Yes, mate.
But, what do you...
What day is it?
June the 9th. To Tuesday,
Okay.
I think.
What day is it? Tuesday.
I think
That's
it's
fine.
Tuesday.
Yes. Oh, where's my diary? Hold on. I can't commit to plans. Certainly not on record.
Oh no, it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday.
June.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I'm meeting someone on the Wednesday.
It's a Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. Good. No, that's absolutely fine. Yeah. Cool. Yes, we'll absolutely do that.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out one way or the other. But Dan, what do you reckon we're going to bloody see?
Fable.
We've got to see some Fable gameplay, haven't we?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
like actual gameplay Fable, Fable gameplay even. So my brain is not turned on, as one could probably imagine. Take your shirt off and we'll get there. I'm assuming that we might get like a roadmap maybe for some more grounded content, possibly some extra DLC for Forza, maybe a new Forza Motorsport, although Forza 7 I'm pretty sure only came out like a year or two ago.
That was last year, I want to say.
Maybe, yeah, I think you're probably right, it is last year. Bit of flight simulator, you know, some like new planes, new updates, new partnerships maybe, because obviously we've got there's the Halo crossover, there's June because of the Dragonflyer, that's in there now as well.
That's my impression
as
of
is Top Gun Maverick as well.
Yes.
So, you know, maybe a couple of partnerships with that.
Do you reckon we'll get new Gears?
I've seen rumours about a Gear 6 the other day, actually. So potentially, if that's rumoured as in it's going to be discussed during it, then okay, sure. I don't think I got around to completing 5, if I'm honest.
I don't
because we were planning on doing a long play for it. We never got to it.
We did. I think we did like 2 things.
No, we tried one. We didn't record it. Like we did one sort of like instant match together. I think.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
But we were planning. I think we were just testing it, so we'll probably come back to that. So yeah, Gears would be fine. Again, Forza seems a bit too soon. Halo, maybe another. If they've renewed Halo for another season, maybe we'll get a teaser of that.
What if they started tying that stuff in? So instead of having a new entry in the Halo series, this is a game based in the TV universe.
Well, with Bethesda having an absolute cracker on their hands with Fallout, maybe that could be opening the gates, and they go, well, we've got a lot of other properties. You know, imagine a Wolfenstein show that's just Blazkowicz running around shooting Nazis and cutting heads off. And
that's
stuff.
a really good franchise that I think would do it's got the silliness factor where Amazon could take that and have it the same level as The Boys or Fallout.
Yeah,
something like that.
Well, they already did Man in the High Castle, so they've got all the Nazi paraphernalia knocking around, all the flags and all that. That's in a box somewhere at Amazon Studio. So whip all of that out, and a Wolfenstein show. Outer Worlds 2 has been sort of on the cusp for a while, so potentially either a reveal or a teaser for or a confirmation, maybe.
Well, we had we did have a teaser before, didn't we? We had a teaser at the last show.
Oh, it might have just been just sort of like Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah. He literally just said he showed you I forgot the guy, the Moonhead guy. Showed you him, and then it was like Outer Worlds 2. Like you need to finish the first one.
I do, mate.
So
I haven't
good.
reinstalled it.
It's very
I genuinely
good.
haven't.
Really
there's
like
a lot of like really kind of interesting sort of like indie stuff that's come in. So I'm hoping that they do like a showcase of that, maybe. So say like here's some like a new Ori or something like that. We've got developers that we're working on. Get some sequels out there.
Call of Duty. Now they own it.
No, I think it's still a bit too early for that. I think they want to probably have a bit of a reset before they start going too hard on it. Maybe a Star Wars thing.
We've got Outlaws coming out, haven't we?
That's what I mean. So maybe a bit like some Xbox specific trailer, and then they'll do a PlayStation specific one or whatever. The only thing, honestly, that I genuinely really, really want them to do is to announce a new Fallout that's off the back of the Fallout show. Not to say that they've gone, oh, that worked really well. Like they're always going to make more Fallouts because they are not bad games.
Yeah.
So if at the very least there'd be some new content for 76, but I think if they're sort of like maybe 2 or 3 years into the development cycle of a new Fallout, so Fallout 5, and they go, shit, man, everyone went fucking bananas for this TV show. Everybody loves it. Knock us a trailer together quickly. Yeah. Like it's pre-alpha, early days, all that sort of stuff. But
even if it's
let's
just
get that out there,
like behind the scenes footage of people just making it. We are
just
doing
saying,
it.
Yeah, it's like we're working on it now. We can't show you because there's literally nothing to do it. But we're doing all the basics. That would send people into overdrive. I think we are overdue for a new Wolfenstein, quite frankly.
We're overdue for a lot of things, but I did just, while we're talking about Fallout, I did see this morning Todd Howard said that they won't move out of America. So each installment will just be in a different part of America.
That's okay.
See,
that's okay.
I get what you're saying, and for like the whole like the lore and that's behind it. But I really want to Fallout like England or China.
The thing is, because I've thought about this, and obviously I've how much I love Fallout, and we've talked about potential other sites for Fallout games for forever. But currently, if you look at basically every Fallout game, almost all of the aesthetic, the items within it, the weapons, they're identical pretty much across the board. There's new additions that they make, but everything still looks like it's from the same era. Yeah. Time frozen, bang, end of the world, and now everything else is just either junk shit that's put together, or it's all the same stuff from before the war started.
Yeah.
So they already kind of have the groundwork there. Like they've got the foundations of what they need to build, and they can just reuse assets and texture them up a little bit more. Doing it in another country,
just start from scratch.
Every building has to be new. The look of everything, the music would need to be everything would need to be reset. Which, whilst it would be interesting, like people weren't keen on 76 changing the format. You take it out of the wastelands of America. Yeah, people could just be like, "Oh, absolutely not. Just go back to what you're good at." And they go, "Oh, it took us 6 years to make that."
It's. I think it's always more of one of those like, "Oh, I use GTA in London." Well, I mean, you can, but then you're not going to be driving around in fast cars.
No, and you can't hit a motorway and do 200 miles an hour.
Like if they're going to make it,
you'll get onto the M6 and stop in 23 seconds when there's traffic.
Which I know they did GTA London back in the day on PS1, but it wasn't. The only thing that really changed was the car. This car's got a Union Jack on it, but it was still just a top-down city drive around thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it. I mean, Watch Dogs basically GTA London shows you what it could potentially be like, and it's slow.
Like, it's true to form though.
But
it's
how
like
it
it's a
should
lot
be,
of
yeah.
windy roads.
Yeah. But GTA players aren't going to be. They're not going to be like jumping from 4 to 5 to 6, and then 7's in London, and it's cheaper. Not cheaper. It's quicker to walk somewhere than it is to get in a car.
Get the tube.
Yeah, this is like I don't want to do that. I can do that in real life.
Where's the helicopters? It's like, well, there aren't any in London. Like no, like military jets or anything like that. There's no army base.
So yeah, so I can see what he's saying, but it's Fallout was one that's I've always thought it'd be really cool to see what it's like, the opposite side of the world.
I think if anything, that's like 76 would be a good testing ground for that.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, here's there's a new DLC. Here's a part of London or a part of China that you have to go to. Maybe. Yeah. And just if people are sort of like, oh no, it's all boo, don't like any of this. Then they go, fucking hell, good. Well, we're not going to make this as another game. Then the next one, another desert. Yes.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. But Obsidian, I want them to do a few more things, quite frankly. We were a fan of that publisher, so get them cracking, Callum. That'd be my hope.
Do you reckon we'll see some more like cross-platform release stuff like we've had with Grounded and Sea and Thieves?
Potentially. I think Halo would be one that's probably not on the to-go pile just yet. But yeah, I'm sure there's a few things that are tied up in
the few.
The Xbox IP where they're just sort of like, yeah, sure, we'll let these out as well.
Maybe that's the Gear announcement. It's not Gear 6. They're now available on PlayStation.
Oh, it's the Marcus Phoenix collection. That's on.
Effectively, yeah.
I mean, no one's really chomping at the bit for the next Gears, are they? It's not like, oh my god, here we are. It's next Gears time. Well, that I think it's peaked.
I was thinking about, like, when we was talking about it like a few minutes ago, because I was like, I've definitely played a fair bit of Gears 5, and I was trying to think like when I've done it, and I played it on xCloud, literally because I got the Razer Kishi, so I just when I played it, the most of the time it's been played on this. So yeah, I didn't love it that much. It's good.
No, like I say, I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't like, oh my god, I've got to play this game again.
I will if they do announce a new one, then we should jump on and do a big chunk more of it.
Sure. Have you got any preferences? Anything you want to do? Anything you want to see?
I want to see Fable 100%. That's the big one that I want to see. We probably will see some Star Wars Outlaws just because the release date's getting real close now. But in terms of Microsoft-owned stuff, Call of Duty would still be my biggest shout. It's not what I want, but I think.
But they could say we're going in a different way with it. We're not happy with the sort of like the microtransaction-y, ADHD Twitch streamer kind of model that they had for Call of Duty. We want to take it back and make it a single player game with a multiplayer component rather than it's just multiplayer now, that's all it is. Or they could just say people just like it as it is, don't touch it, pump out more content into it. Although I'll tell you what would be nice is be like a Halo Call of Duty crossover or something like that. You'd have 400 Master Chiefs running around.
Yeah, but it should just be Halo really. But even though I really want them to change the direction and make it fresh and new, the fact that Microsoft have bought them and then they come out and go, we've changed this, people will just lose their fucking shit, even though they know that it's the right thing.
Yeah,
they'll just kick off for the fuck of it. But I'm still wagering not a fair amount of money, but I'm still wagering that they will unveil like a how did we describe it before? Kind of like a Fire Stick, but it's Game Pass like xCloud that you can just
so plug it into any device and then boom, off you go.
Yeah. I'm still holding out for that because I think it's an excellent idea.
It is. There's one idea that I'm holding on to, which is the one thing I say at every E3 or every Xbox or every PlayStation showcase, and you know what that is, Callum.
Yeah.
I want another Tomb Raider.
Oh no, that's not what I was going to say.
Oh, really? What do you think
I was going to say Conquer.
No, we're not going to get that.
The 1 year,
the 1 year I'm going to be like, no, never again. This is going to be the year they announce it.
Probably.
But no, I want a new Tomb Raider.
I don't think that'll be here though. I don't think we'll see it at the Xbox show.
Well, I mean, all the Tomb Raiders have just been added to, all the new Tomb Raiders have just been added to Game Pass. They've filtered in.
But I would I'd wager all this invisible money that I've got that if we see it at a big event like the PlayStation event, the Xbox event, even the Nintendo event, it'll be at the Sony one.
Maybe.
But
I reckon that
they do their own.
They did it well last year, where they just went, here's a game, here's a game, here's a game, here's a game, here's a new game, here's a game, here's a game, and then here's something absolutely out of the left field.
Yeah.
Bang, there you go.
Yeah.
And then that'll take us home.
That's what we need.
I reckon that they'll be like they'll get Todd Howard out to just be like, thank you all so much for watching Fallout.
Who's watched Fallout?
Yeah, we're so glad that you enjoyed it. I'm really excited that we've got a second season. It's going to be based in New Vegas. It's going to be, and everyone will just lose their shit.
Yeah,
and then it'll go, and that because of that, and because it's kind of tying in, we're going to do New Vegas 2, and everyone will just explode immediately.
They will, but what do you reckon the backlash will be on? We've still not had any Skyrim.
That's a good point. Skyrim would be a good one. Skyrim would be a great little number to drop in as like a world premiere, that sort of thing. I don't know.
New banjo.
No.
I want a new banjo.
I'm optimistic. Happy and optimistic.
It's got to be good because this is after they've brought everyone up. So if they come to this and they've got nothing to show, then what's the point of staffing all these people up? So there'll definitely be something worthwhile, and I think we will get that random thing that nobody's thought of, or it's a completely new IP that looks amazing, or whatever.
Yeah, I think we'll get a couple of new ones that are like, we've got some really interesting kind of like, because there's some interesting. There's some that was just called. I played about 10 minutes of it before we started. Have a Nice Death.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that dropped on. Oh no, it came out in December, but it's just come out on Game Pass. But that's actually really quite fun. Manor Lords, which is an alpha, or not an alpha, it's an early access, like city build, like medieval city builder. I've been playing quite a bit of that. There's a lot of it which is sort of like, this is locked, this is locked, this is locked. This is like, we haven't implemented it yet, which is quite good.
Howard Halibut.
Yes, I played about 10 minutes of that as well before I had to go to bed. I haven't got back around to doing it, but I will be at some point. I'd like to maybe think that we get some more Ubisoft EA like crossover things. So they're like, Assassin's Creed Mirage, that's going to be on Game Pass by like the end of the year. That'd be a great get. Sims 5. Bang, world premiere. Do you know what I mean? Just some sort of like partnership stuff, kind of increasing the game spread that they've got on there as well. That'd be nice.
There's plenty on. I do think we'll see some stuff from Grounded and Sea of Thieves, just because they're on Switch and PlayStation.
I mean, to be fair, they're kind of Microsoft staples at this point. They'd be like, here's another Sea of Thieves thing, and people go, cool.
I would say, even though you've got Halo, you've got Gears, you've got Forza, I think Sea of Thieves and Grounded are probably Microsoft's biggest games that they've got.
About that.
In terms of player base and how popular they are, because they're both really popular titles. Halo, what was the last Halo called? Forgot. Infinite. That wasn't badly reviewed, but it wasn't wildly loved. Same with Gears. Forza's Forza. Whether you like Motorsport or you like Horizon, they're both fucking great. But they're not. You're not going to have people on PlayStation and Switch going, man, I really wish I had Forza, because if they were that into it, they'd have an Xbox or they'd have a PC or whatever. Whereas
also, the many times that I tried Forza 7, it wasn't working properly anyway. So who knows?
I haven't tried it on PC. I've only tried it on Xbox, and that was literally to see if it had the same problems that you had.
Right.
And then I installed it because I like Horizon. I don't like Motorsport.
We haven't done any Horizon for a while.
Been a good while. But no, I'm not real. There's nothing that I'm going to be disappointed if it's not there, other than Fable. But I imagine there's plenty that's going to make me happy.
I agree. I think we're going to get some crackers in here.
Yeah,
genuinely, I do.
This week's episode is brought to you by NYXI and their Hyperion Pro Joy-Cons for Nintendo Switch. The Hyperion Pro is the best Joy-Con replacement we've tested to date. They look fantastic, they feel better than stock Joy-Cons, and the Hall effect sticks ensure longevity of them will outlast Nintendo's offering, as well as other third-party brands that still suffer with the dreaded drift issues. The super comfortable and ergonomic grip allow for easy long-time gaming. The programmable RGB lights mean you can customize the controller to your particular taste, and the gamer's reflex macro buttons are available to give you an edge. Plus, the GameCube-inspired purple option and the green Legend of Zelda-inspired variant really make the controller stand out. All this, and using promo code PvP, you can get 10% off. Head over to NYXIGame.com or use the link in the description. Speaking of crackers though, Dan, we went to the cinema last week. Not together,
Yeah,
though.
we did.
And we went to see... I'm going to let you do your little charade thing you did last week.
Like the hiya! Yeah.
Old Monkey Man, which is a 2024 neo-noir action thriller directed and co-produced by Dev Patel in his directorial debut. And obviously he's a titular character, Monkey Man. Do you actually know his name in it? I can't remember. No, he wasn't called Monkey Man.
Bobby.
Definitely wasn't Bobby.
No, that's because he says, "Oh, you Nuka, what's your name?" And he goes, "Bobby."
Yeah.
Because of the bleach, it's called Bobby Bleach.
Yeah.
Or Bobby's Bleach, but I don't think that's his legit.
That's
name.
What I mean. Yeah, it's
just...
not his name. But anyway, he actually did very, very good, Dan. Do you know how much it cost to make?
I do not know. No.
$10 million.
Woo! Certainly doesn't look it.
And it grossed 32 on its opening. I assume it's made more. I assume it's made more now.
I was going to say it deserves a lot more than that, quite frankly.
This will be more of a. I can see people not watching this just because they go, "Oh, it's just where's it set?"
India.
Yeah, I thought it was India. People will go, and you got people like us that'll go, "This is like Indian John Wick," but then you'll have other people go, "It's just Indian John Wick," and then they won't watch it.
But subtitles. Ugh.
Yeah, but the thing is the best thing that I even after watching it, because I said to my sister, "I'm going to go and watch this tonight," at the weekend last week, and I showed her the trailer for it. She goes, "What's it about?" And I went, "I don't know." And that's
does it matter?
Well,
Did you not see what was in it?
Everything's so stylized and well made, and the film itself does a real good job of telling you the story. But as far as trailers go, I mean, how many times did we watch the trailer for Monkey?
About 6.
Yeah,
easy.
easily. And it doesn't give you any information about the film. And that's,
I didn't know it was
perfect.
A revenge flick because of his mum being killed by a police chief.
Spoilers, by the way, for Monkey Man.
Not that takes anything away from it.
But no, it was filmed really well. The choreography is really, really, really good. There was certain bits where I felt it dragged a little bit longer than it needed to. Not in a bad. I know that's kind of counter thingy to say, but it wasn't a bad thing. I just felt like I kind of want to move from this bit and head to that direction, which obviously it does. But considering this is his first the first film he's directed, real fucking good.
Yeah,
really good.
There was a couple of things where the camera was right up in people's faces, and I don't know if that was intentionally to be like, oh, this is a very close, it's a very small. Well, it's a very big city, but it's very
cramped,
compacted.
Yeah.
Very cramped. Everything kind of feels like everything's 2 feet away from you, which I assume probably is the case. That you felt like, oh god, I'm right in my personal space there. Back off a bit. And everyone's a wanker, and everyone's taking advantage of the poor. And there's a. Do you know what it reminds me of? It's like Far Cry in India.
Yeah,
there's a religious leader who's a mad dictator who's got control of everything. He's got a mini boss, which is the police chief, who you've got a personal vendetta against. Then you've got like a woman who runs the hotel that you work for, Queenie, who's a fucking cunt as well. And you've got your sidekick in what's his face?
The guy with the little car.
Yeah, with the wooden leg.
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but him.
Yeah.
We'll call him Bobby too, because I genuinely can't remember.
And he's got his warrior monk pals that he has to go and level up with. Like it's like Far Cry, honestly. It's like the Far Cry game. That then he gets himself poisoned, gets high as fuck, and then he's Neo. he just rinses fools out. It's so good.
It did seem that there was I'd say they were the only two bits that kind of like move it from one type of film to another. Like 90% of the film, it's reasonably realistic to a degree, and then you have that bit where obviously he gets the like he's sort of hallucinating and everything else to see what he needs to do and everything else, and he's like opening his chest up and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope this is drugs, because this is gonna be weird now. And then when like the female tribe and whatnot, why weren't they doing all that before then? If they could wipe all of them out,
because they're waiting for the one. Like they're waiting for the one to rally them up and just be like, "Oh, you're the guy. You're the one that we've been waiting for. Cool. We'll get our sick dresses on and our sides, and we'll carve them the fuck up."
But they did most of the work.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't like I like that as well when like he kind of rinsed the room out and then like 20 guys ran in and he was just like, "Oh
shit."
Yeah, and I was just like, "Oh, this." I mean, he's kicked a lot of fucking heads in at the moment, but this is a bit much. And then his fucking mates turn up, and I was like, "Oh, thank God, something to even the odds, rather than him just going like into Neo and he's just blocking every fucking punch or whatever."
Well, he did.
Like,
he did take a battering though.
Man, he gets the shit kicked out of him constantly through that film.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I know it's in a lot of films, but it's noticeable in this as well. But like with the chief police, when like he's on death's fucking door. But he still just gets up until he's put down for good, obviously. But it's just like, nah, I don't care how strong you are, you ain't getting up after that.
After that absolute battering, no.
And he took a stiletto to the fucking head.
Oh my God, I love the fact that he beat him to death with a shoe. Wonderful.
There was so many good, like, we do see it in the trailer, but when he goes into the kitchen... like that scene plays out a lot longer in the film.
Oh
than
yeah,
it does
it's like
in the
one
trailer.
long.
Yeah, but it's everything's done. Like it's very well choreographed, but it's things that I'm not saying I could do it, but when you see him doing it, like I would use that, I would open that, I would do because all the things around, and there's nothing more annoying than watching a film or playing a game, and they don't like you. You've recently been playing the Resident Evil remakes. And it's like you walk into a room and there's like screwdrivers and saws and stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, why can't I get these?
Yeah.
And that's what it's like. And that's why I liked some of the stuff in this, because it was stuff where it's there. I'm going to fucking use it.
Yeah.
And that was very good.
It's not just crazy gunplay. Like, it's not, headshot, which I love John Wick. Yeah. And John Wick does what it does very well, but it is all gun Carter stuff, but it's all very clean. Headshot. It's all very excellent camera work. But this is just sort of like, it's like he's got a mate with him who's following him as he just beats the living shit out of a bunch of people. And like he
fucks it up as well.
Yeah, like he's absolutely getting the shit kicked out of him too. But then he also, he's like Batman almost. He's hitting people, and it feels like he's hitting them hard enough to be like, okay, well, no, they wouldn't be able to just shake that off and get back up again, until he goes up against someone who can take a punch and give a punch, like the police chief, and he has to really fucking beat the living shit out of him to actually, like you say, put him down properly. But there's a bullet that goes into a fish tank, and then he just grabs a chair and just finishes it off to knock everyone off their steam a little bit. And then there's a lot of really kind of great chaos fighting, if I can use that term.
That's a good term. Yeah.
Where he's scrapping. He's sort of on the back foot. He has to kind of get himself back and centered again. But then he's like dashing between a hallway, and then he'll jump into a car. Like those action scenes, they can be like 15, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And then he's scrubbing floors.
He's back to cleaning dishes and stuff.
I tell you what, though, the biggest problem I've got with it is that he's wearing that monkey mask and he's fighting all the cobras and whatever in the ring. Love that, by the way. And he gets, like you say, he gets the shit kicked out of him constantly in the ring. And every time he takes that mask off and he goes to work the next day, he looks fine.
Yeah.
It's just like, mate, your eyes should be out here, your lips should be a mess.
There is the one when he tells whatever the guy, when he tells Psychic to go and put money on against the thingy, because he's like, I'm going to be fighting him. When he goes to work the next day, he's got a black eye, but that's the only time.
Oh, okay.
And it is just a black eye. And he shouldn't be a black eye. His eye should be seized shut.
Yeah, it's like the heaviness of these hits. I do love that, though, when he turns into Neo and he goes up against Cobra and he just does one kick and just knocks him the fuck out. And that guy's just like, what?
What I did like, though, with it's two things, but when they do a good job of explaining that he's a ringer and he can take the hits and take the hits and take the hits and then go down when he's meant to maximize the profits and stuff. I've been watching The Gentleman on Netflix, like the series of the movie of the same name, and they bring a guy into that's a ringer, and I was like, oh, I know what that is. I know what a ringer is.
That's a common term, though.
No, but like I knew there was people that were there to take the hits and then to take the dive, but I didn't know that it was called a ringer.
Oh, I see, right.
I just assumed they were just like idiots that can take a pounding. Like, I don't know, because that's got to be way more dangerous than just normal fighting.
What, having to deal with it until you have to go down at a specific point?
Yeah,
probably, yeah. But that would be on the assumption that only one person knows that that's supposed to be the case. If both fighters know, then they're not going to hammer you into the ground in round one. Are they?
Yeah.
They need to make it last until round 6.
Yeah. So I suppose it gets a bit more like wrestling there, where it's more acting based than.
Well, that's because that's yeah. I was thinking that maybe that was the case. Like when they're talking in the locker room and it's just sort of like, bleed more, make a show, and you get more money. And I was like, oh, is this like a rigged thing? Like, is he there because he can take a punch, and like he can be the one that everybody hates?
Yeah, he's the villain.
And everyone else can kind of come in and they can beat the shit out of him and make it look real, but it needs to be really real in order for him to kind of get real paid. But I like the whole kind of, that guy in the wheelchair nicks that woman's handbag and it gets handed off to like 12 different people before it gets to him. And then he's like, oh, well, have you got a job for me or whatever?
Whilst that scene is really clever, it also means that what if there wasn't a person and they just stood there waiting? Because everyone's in the right place at the right time. But if they didn't get the purse, so they just stood waiting until there was a purse.
Well, presumably, yeah. But no, because they made a point of saying like, oh, she's always at this place by clockwork. Like,
oh yeah,
so she's always going to be there, so they can plan that whole thing out. Also, another really good thing, like he gets scanned down every time he has to go to work, and he trains a dog to bring a gun through a hole in the fence to him by like raising it. What a move! I was just like, oh, that's so smart. I love that. Which
again is explained. Like, and because to start off with, obviously, it's just a stray dog, and he starts feeding it, and then it's come back for more, and then he's trying to train it, and it won't sit, and then it does sit, and it shows you that montage, that progression. And then the more it shows, because every time he goes to work, it shows you the scanning bit, and then it's only when he's coming around, and then the dog's running, you're like, he's trained the fucking dog, hasn't he? And then it goes and gives it a bit of sock. That's really clever, but told very, very well. Because a lot of things would just be the dog would just show up, and you go, well,
or he'd just whip it over a fence or something.
Yeah, which I suppose he could do, but that sounds fun. But that I don't think it would. I don't want to use the word disappointing. It's not my new John Wick, and I think it's like an 8 out of 10, easy.
I'd say probably an 8 or a 9 for me. Like, I came out of that, I was just like,
I really enjoyed it. I really did.
I loved every minute of that. There's not really much, like, the jokes landed. it felt earned, like that revenge story. Like, it was clearly like this guy going through absolute trauma who was being, he's training himself to be this, monster of revenge.
Yeah.
There's honestly, other than the fact that it ended, there's not really anything I don't like about it.
The ending of it, that's another thing I did like, actually. The main bad guy of the movie, where he's got the little dagger thing in his. I don't know what the shoes are called, but
it was like some sandals.
Basically sandals, aren't they? But like he pulls that out and he's got the thing. But the way it ends, it's kind of open ended enough that they could do another one. But it's like we did say before. Because we were saying, like, do you think we'd ever see a Monkey Man John Wick crossover? And we were saying that the Monkey Man's like the legend. So theoretically, they could do another one without Dev Patel if he didn't want to do it and it warranted.
So someone else who's taking on the mask.
Yeah. Because they make a big deal of showing the story of the getting to the sun and everything else. I think I don't know if I'd like it now. Having seen the film, I don't think I'd like anyone else to do it. But
I think that he seems so committed to it. Like it didn't. Not. Do you know what the probably the best way of me describing it is? It didn't feel choreographed.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were going and then fight, and then I fight you for a bit, and then we fight there for a bit. Everything felt like, oh my god, this guy's going to get a fucking... He's just going to get clipped in the head in a minute.
He's going to die any second.
It all felt like just dangerous, and like it felt intense, and I loved it.
That's the opposite of John Wick, though, especially in the last one, where he will go from... He's fighting like 5 or 6 people. He's bit fucking tired, and he goes into the next room and he's leaning on a thing, and then more come and he's just like, fuck's sake, and then gets up, but he's going to come out of that because he's John Wick. Whereas this, every time someone else showed up, you're just like, he's going to fucking die.
This is the one. This is the one that's going to cave his head in.
And to be honest, I don't think that would have ruined the film. Like, this is the protagonist that doesn't see through the justification of what he's doing to avenge his mother, and he does die before he even gets to do it. Like, it seemed the sort of film that would do that. I'm glad they didn't, because it was good to see it through. But what if this was a film where all the bad guys win?
I'd have been furious.
But that's how it felt.
Like, so maybe he manages to take out the police captain, but then when it comes to that guy in the your religious leader, he just takes that thing out and he just stabs him right in the neck and kills him.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, oh, shit, because he didn't see it coming.
Yeah. And we
wouldn't, like, this guy, presumably, he's the weakest of all of them. Yeah. Like, he's not a fighter. He doesn't have to, go in with his... he doesn't have to go in all guns blazing. He could have just choked him out there and then.
Yeah.
But he was just so taken off guard by, like, a cheeky knife that's like, hiya! And just in the neck. And that killed him, or at least ambiguously killed him. Yeah. That would have been kind of great.
Plus, he was, at that point... too tired to, like...
He just fought like 30 dudes.
And the rest.
I mean, man alive.
But he'd not only fought everyone down in the hotel bit, but then he's fought the chief of police upstairs. And
who that guy could fucking
He's a
fight
big
as well.
fucking unit anyway.
Yeah, he is.
And to get up there to, like, this almost frail old man, he does stab him, which he does. But... at that point, maybe he's too tired, like the adrenaline's not enough, and he can't just... He does, spoiler. But even just that scene, though, where he's talking, like he's like, you don't need to do so, and he's just like...
He's like, oh, please, show me mercy. Stab.
No, it was very good. I'm going to stick with 8, but I might change it to a 9 upon second viewing, I don't know. But I really, really enjoyed it. But... very quickly before we go, Dan, I watched Knuckles, all of the mini-series on Paramount Plus.
Oh.
It's very, very good.
Okay.
Won't talk too much about it because obviously you haven't watched it, so I don't want to spoil anything. But I did see they have cast Shadow in Sonic 3.
Well, I mean, Shadow was teased in Sonic 2, so...
No, they've cast him.
Oh, sorry. Right, okay. Yeah.
Do you know who it is? Do you want to know?
I've enjoyed the Sonic films to some degree so far, so yeah, I'd like to know.
It is Keanu Reeves.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Of course it is.
So that was, I think that was actually news before the Knuckles show came. It's not. There's nothing to do with Shadow in the miniseries or at all. But it's really good. I really enjoyed it. And as I sent you a photo while I was watching it, Julian Barrett.
Julian Barrett's in it.
Of all fucking people.
Why? Who knows? But that, if anything, that makes me want to go and watch it more.
It's good.
But I did start watching X-Men, as I mentioned to you last week. I'm up to episode 4, which I finished last night.
Mojo
I think it's
that one with Jubilee and Thingy go in the
they're like in a digital digital world or whatever, and it's like there's a clone of Jean Grey. So how long's that been going on for? And then Sinister takes the baby.
I think because you're not a big X-Men comic person, was you?
Not particularly. I mean, it's mainly from either the cartoon or from the games. It's know most of my sort of X-Men knowledge.
It was only mainly just with you saying that, and there was some I was speaking to who's been watching it, and I was like, I can't fucking believe it. I'm like, why? It's in the comic. And they're really like, hey, if you haven't read it, then it would be a big reveal, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But honestly, I love it. It's real good. I haven't watched today's yet, which I believe.
How many are there now?
I think it's this one, and this one's part 1, and then next week is part 2, and that's the end of the season.
Okay.
I believe.
And how many's that?
I think that'll be 12. I think off the top of my head.
Quite a few, then.
Could be 10 or 12. I honestly can't remember now number wise. Last Bad Batch today though ever.
Good.
And it was great. Fucking loved it.
Well, Acolyte is out soon, Callum, and that'll be the one.
We've got another one as well.
Really, really looking forward to that. Oh, Tales of the Sith.
Something to do with the Sith anyway.
Tales of the Sith.
Yeah. That looks really good.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
Well, it's about Elsbeth, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is that her name?
I'm sure it is.
With the spear, like the Dathomir witch.
Yeah. Well, it's not about her. She's in it, though.
Well, I assume it is about her because it's charting her getting all the way through to being, like, showing up in the Mandalorian.
No, the animated one.
Yeah, Tales of the Sith. Like, I think it's about her in the same way that Tales of the Jedi was mainly about, like, Ahsoka and Qui-Gon.
Tales of the Jedi.
Count Dooku, sorry.
Collection of shorts featuring parables built around Jedi from prequel era. Oh, that's Tales of the Jedi. Sorry, I'm searching the wrong thing. Tales of the Empire. That's what it's called.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Young Morgan Elsbeth navigates the expanding Imperial world toward a path of vengeance. Former Jedi Barriss Offee does what she must to survive rapidly changing the galaxy. Choices they make will define their destinies. That's where I've got that from. So yes, it is. Yeah. It is Elsbeth. That looks very good. Good.
I agree. That one does look good.
Looking forward to that. But Dan, I got nothing else.
No, mate. I think, if anything, we just need to remind people that there's some new items in the store. So go to www.podcastversusplayer.com. All of the previous videos, game shows, and all that, as well as all the content of the store, as well as the new series Quiet Facts, can all be found there. So please do go check those out. We do also have the wall on there as well. So if you've got ideas for new Quiet Facts, maybe that you want to have added, or any suggestions for games or shows or things that we should have a little look at, maybe, then drop us a message on there. We've had a lot of engagement on YouTube as of late with your reviews, Callum, so excellent work once again with all of that. And keep it up, keep talking to us. That'll do, I reckon.
Yeah. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Thanks, Dan.
Yes,
thank you to you. Thanks to me. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you, Jesus. Love you.
Peace out, homie. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.